Well, good morning, everybody. It is Writer Wednesday again. Can you believe it? Alrighty, so it's pretty snazzy. I just got some sort of notification about stream quality, so hopefully it was behind my other notifications. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but hopefully you can see and hear me and everything is looking okay. If not, well, that's life. This is the way it's working today because we've got almost all of the kids home for spring break. The 5-year-old just came downstairs. It's 8 o'clock, which would have been 7 o'clock last week. And he just came downstairs, like, I kid you not, 10 seconds before going live. And it's been, like, dead silent. I've been like, yes, that is the way this one works today. So my bandwidth might be a little bit low. We'll see how it works. Hopefully it all goes well. So today I wanted to talk really quickly about launches and what happens when a launch doesn't go so well, or when our perception of a launch doesn't go so well. I guess one of the big things that has happened is I've had some friends just recently who have gone into doing their launches and kind of met with lackluster results, or felt like they had, where we kind of sometimes build up this expectation that this next launch is going to do really well and it's going to be the next big thing that's going to put us on the map. And the good news is, I think having that hope really pulls us and drives us forward. But at the same time, it's a little bit more difficult because if it doesn't happen, if this big launch that, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into doesn't happen, there's the 5-year-old sneezing. If it doesn't, then you feel disappointed and you end that day of launch, let's say, just feeling a little bit down. And I totally get it because I've been there. We put so much effort and energy into our books and into our launches that sometimes we don't even see what we could have done differently in order to make it more successful. So in my podcast today, I go into a lot of different questions that I want you to ask to evaluate the success of a launch. And I talk about a lot of mindset things as well in the podcast. So if you have a minute to go listen to that podcast, I definitely recommend you do that because I don't have a lot of time to say the same stuff. But today I want to ask two questions, or have you, I guess, ask two questions of yourself whenever you're feeling this way, or whenever a launch is completed and you're trying to get everything wrapped up and kind of assess what happened. So the first question is, what actually did go well? I want you to sit down and think about the things that were successful with the launch. Did you do a good job getting your ARCs out? Did you do a good job with newsletter swaps? Did you spend more money on your launch this time than you have ever done before and it paid off with good low cost per clicks? Whatever it is, write it down so that you're able to remember your successes and be happy with the things that went well. It's that attitude of gratitude and remembering to focus on the things that worked and to focus on the things that you know you've accomplished, so that when you ask yourself the second question, what could be improved? Now you know, okay, these are the things that I did well. I will continue them and I will build on them. But the things that can be improved, now these are the things that I'm going to change for the next book launch. Because the thing is, with our books, and I think I found this so often with all the people that I'm working with, where we have this idea that, when we put a book out there or put a series out there, that it's going to be the next Harry Potter, or it's going to be the next Twilight series, and it's going to catch on and it's going to catch fire and it's going to go. And it can happen, but the problem is it's not always going to happen like that. Sometimes it's a slow build, and sometimes it's going to happen after many different iterations of books, or maybe you're testing your genres, or maybe you're writing in a genre that isn't as popular at the moment, but you're called to it and it's your responsibility to write that novel or that series, regardless of what's trending or regardless of whatever's going on, because there can be authors out there who are writing and really honestly just killing it with their first series. But sometimes I think they're writing for the quick buck, or they're writing for the trend that's hitting right now. But what happens when that trend fades away and people have stopped reading that particular series? Do they have the staying power to continue writing books either in that genre when it's no longer hot, or pivoting into a genre that is a little bit different but similar, so that they can continue onward? I think when things get rough or when things get hard, it's easy for people to jump ship. Where if you start off knowing, okay, this is harder than I thought it would be. This is not a quick a quick buck to in order to make money and go off. This is something where I'm building my career and I'm building all of the expertise and the knowledge and the craft so that I can do this really well, and so that when people find me, there are multiple entry points, no matter when they find me, how they find me, whatever. So I guess it's, to me, I know it's a little ironic coming from someone who touts the whole rapid release thing, but it is also a long game. In order to get to that point of making a lot of money or having a lot of books or having a lot of those entry points, we have to know that it doesn't happen overnight. And it does take time. And I think that whole mentality of an overnight success really doesn't exist. It's a building of things that we have done throughout our lives. So even if it is your first series and you do really well with your first series, you've had your whole life experience leading up to that particular moment where you had the inspiration, the idea to write the book or the series, and the know-how of being able to figure out how to publish your book, how to market your book, and get it into the reader's hands. All of those things come together, and it's not magic. It is something that is built upon and you have to work towards, sometimes easier than others. Some people have a better platform to be able to know kind of the best way to leverage things. If you're an internet marketer who understands funnels and who understands the psychology of buyers, you're going to probably do a better job than, let's say, someone who is a banker. Maybe not. Who knows? But that's just kind of my guesstimate, I guess. It all depends on the experiences that you're drawn to and the things that you like to do and the things that you will pay attention to when you are not on the clock, or all the things. I mean, when I was in school, I was studying ancient art history and literature. And at the time, I didn't quite know what it would end up being put towards. I was thinking archaeology. I would be an archaeologist. And I had no idea it would lead me to writing books that included elements of all the mythologies or different things like that. So your experiences will lead you to that ultimate goal. And so when you have those launches that are a little lackluster, especially when you're first starting out, whether it be starting out with a brand new pen name, which is one of the author friends, or if you're starting out with a series that has just completed, it is so crucial to be able to give yourself not only the freedom to explore the feelings that come from being a little bit disappointed, because I totally get it. It happens. I mean, we all have to start out with nothing. No readers, no subscribers, no viewership. It all starts out very small, and eventually it builds upon each other. I wish it was a quick fix, but unfortunately, for a lot of us who don't have, the muko bucks to be able to put into everything right up front, it is that slow build. And so if you're in that situation where you have to build your audience organically for the most part, no, it can happen. I mean, it's slow, and it's gonna build over time. It's gonna be something that you can work towards and chip away at, and then when you have a little bit of money from your royalties that you can push back into your advertising, do it, because it'll help you, and it'll help you gain that momentum of getting bigger and getting stronger with your author platform and everything that you're doing. But in the meantime, just take each and every launch with a grain of salt, knowing that there are things that are going to go really well and things that might not go so well. And so ask yourself those two questions: what did work and what didn't work? And then make your tweaks and adjustments as you move into your next phase. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. I can hear my 5-year-old already turning on his Kindle, so we'll see how this goes. I'm sure the bandwidth is starting to dip again. All right. Have a wonderful Writer Wednesday, and we will see you again next week. Bye for now.